way?
That's the Hudson.
Oh, nice.
That's the Hudson. So usually, we were originally going to do something at 8 o'clock. You would get the most phenomenal sunset. And I'm kind of crazy about sharing my sunsets with everyone, that time when we're between two worlds. But
Of
today
course.
you're getting a lot of backlight. I hope you're a director. Tell me, is the lighting okay for you?
It's perfect. You look great. You look great. I like the hair. I love it.
This is literally the only thing I did to my hair besides wash it is I put a clip right here, or this one would have been going like this too. I am
Yeah,
so
yeah.
lucky today because it feels like it fits my personality. Just,
It does. You look great.
just let it all go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be vibrant,
Well,
be free, everybody.
so so you've done, I'm just going to start off, just kind of get us into some things. Like, you've done everything: modeling, film producer, TV personality, mother, committed to supporting charities, athlete, an American icon that still takes the subway, that I saw in the New York Times, which I thought was pretty amazing. You love animals. I know that. I know that. You've done you've done you've done so much, and you continue to do so much, and I feel like, the who our producer, our lead producer Raul, and I, when I'm just going to talk really quick about how when we first reached out to you, and talked about you being on the film, and when we originally spoke with you, when we originally talked with you, and you were interested. A lot of that stuff happens early on when you're trying to cast a film, and as the conversations kept going, we were drawn to your enthusiasm and your excitement and your positive vibe to it all, and how you wanted to challenge yourself, and how collaborative you were, even the day of, just keeping in touch, making sure, clothes, should I bring some of my own stuff, sending photos, just you continued enthusiasm on the project. And this is an indie film that we shot, and worked, and on the day we were shooting with you, we were shooting outside in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, and some people, they want trailers, and they want this, and they want that. With you just showed up, and you were ready to go. We hung out in the bar, and you just were welcoming to everybody, and when it was time to film, you turned on, and you were right there, and you knew, not only you knew your lines, you knew the intentions, you understood the block. You're just a professional, and to have someone like you on this.
That's because the owner of the bar had just given me a tequila shot.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We were just talking with Raul earlier when we were on the phone with you, and I remember when we went in, this bar it's a working class bar, in Bensonhurst, like I said, and when we went in, they're just like, all right, everyone's gonna have to stay outside, and they were kind of like protecting their environment, which I completely understand, because you got a bunch of people coming in trying to shoot a film, disrupt. And then they started asking us who's in the film. We went down the list, and then they said, well, who's here today? And then we said your name, and everybody who was in the bar, it was pretty quiet. It's one of those places you go in, we're out of place a little bit, and we said your name, and everybody reacted and kind of grinned and looked, and then kind of moved in. And within 30 minutes, everyone's allowed in the bar from our crew. They're giving everyone booze. Everything changed just because of your name. And then when you showed up, it was a whole different energy. You came in, you were smiling. The bartenders, the busboys, whoever, were asking to take a photo with you. You were down, you were going in, out, everyone's laughing. It was such a fun day, and that speaks a lot to the energy you bring into a room, into whatever it is that you do, any project that you do. And again, like I said, you've done so many things. And from being a kid watching you on WrestleMania, when I was watching,
Ringing the bell.
I remember watching, just thinking, wow, who is that? Who are these people? You watch, I think Hulk Hogan fought Sergeant Slaughter on that day, and you were like a bell ringer. But I clearly remember watching and seeing your face and being like, this is amazing, just so far removed from me. My parents are you know, I know you come from Georgia, you know, you're Southern girl, but my parents are factory workers in Chicago who are immigrants, you know, and you know, for me it was such a small world, and then to see you in that light, and then to meet you and work with you, and we're going to continue to work with you as we've written you into our next film, a pretty good role. You know, it was just amazing to see that, to see that and to share that experience with you. So I just want to say all that off the bat because you know, you've been in our peripherals and in our face in one way or another growing up, and getting to meet you and seeing that your energy is so good and positive and not manipulative at all, and or you know, because a lot of people in Hollywood, you know, I'll say this is my first film, I can say whatever I want. A lot of people are manipulative, and they're like, you know, they're trying to like do all these things, and to see, you know, someone like you not have any of that, it made a lot of sense to me why you are who you are, you know.
Jimmy, thank you. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
thank you with all my heart. And I just want to say it's the way that we walk into a room, the energy that we present does affect an environment, and I have to give it right back to you, because I've been on sets where I didn't feel like people saw me. I was just a number. I was you know, I was a number for to show up at such and such a time, and you and your entire team literally welcome me from the first moment I stepped on set in Brooklyn. Where were we? I don't even know where we were, but it was so amazing just to step into the unknown. And that's where, guys, you have to really trust, really trust that where you're meant to be, you will be, and just put one step in front of the other. And really, if you're listening inside and you're trusting your intuition, you're going to be embraced. And you all embraced me so completely. I'm so thankful. Truly, it's you say what I gave, but it's what you gave back, and that, I think, is the secret of all of us being able to find joy in everything that we do. You know,
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
you've had such a career in music, and you know, you've worked with so many, but have you now, you know, doing film? It's really exciting. And I think someone originally reached out to my daughter to be in the project.
Yeah.
And my daughter
Tiffany.
said, "Mommy, handle this." And I'm like, "Whatever you need, babe. I'm right there for
Yeah.
you." And it ended up being a gift back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was
Hi, Nicole.
when your name came up, I remember somebody said Marla, and we just stopped, and we're like, it's not possible. We were just like, it's not possible. And Raul, who's our lead producer, anything's possible for him. So he's like, no, let's talk to her, you know?
Yeah.
Let's talk to her. And you know, he understands that you need to get in front of somebody and like really kind of read what we're saying, their energy and their vibe, and see what they're all about. You know, some people are about money, some people are about this and that, and some people are just feel it, you know.
You just feel it. You have to feel it in life. I mean, truly, that is. I mean, everything that, I mean, we're all going through a big transition right now. And, you know, there's not money coming in, but I feel like I'm purposed in what I'm doing. And you know, we're just doing what we feel like has been purposed in our soul right now. And I'm so grateful to have the chance to work with incredible creative minds like yours that can see and, you know, bring out the best in people, because truly do you bring out the best in people? Don't we all want to know that we can do that? Yeah.
So Marla, I'm in Chicago working on the score for the film, and I live in New York, as you know. How is New York right now? What's going on out there?
Well, I got to tell you, I'm finding isolation plays a little bit of a trick on you, because it's been over 40 days, and they say it takes 40 days you can break any habit. And I honestly started worrying about for me, am I going to even want to leave my apartment? Because I've become so contained and sort of comfortable in this environment. But I had a reason to go visit dear precious friends who just lost their daddy yesterday, social distancing in Central Park. You might have seen a picture of me climbing a tree with him. So I walked out the door, and there was such a vibrance, and everyone in New York, it was like everyone was awake. There was joy. There was because I gotta say, it's been like when I've had to go outside for an errand or to drop something at the post office for someone, or an emergency trip to the grocery store, there's been such a silence. It's been very, very eerie. But at the same time, I respected that people are honoring themselves, their community, and their people by staying inside and honoring these incredible healthcare workers and providers who are out there for us. So even the times that I rarely would have to go out, I would just sort of, first it would just strike me as, this really my city? But people are honoring each other. But yesterday, with like the first real feeling of spring light, people were on their bikes, people were in the park. I mean, there were little groups, but most people had on masks. And if they didn't have masks, they were definitely social distancing, and
That's good.
and groups of families and friends. And it just was like the city felt alive, and more than anything, it felt like a renewed spirit in people. And
That's good.
yeah, and that's what we all need, just to take this time and transform any fears, any doubt, any place in our life that we have been stuck and unsure and unhappy. Take it and transform it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And I'm glad you're safe, because, you know, we all know how hard New York got hit.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, I think about it a lot, you know, because I'm over here, you know, I'm close to my parents, you know, helping out as much as I can.
Yeah.
Keeping my distance, you know, talking through the window.
Really?
But yeah, but trying to be close, you know, because of what we're saying, that energy, you know, keeping it close, it keeps everyone a little more. Even when I got back here and I started to feel a little more, you know, because I'm with, you know, my family, you know, and my parents and my brother, and, you know, that stuff. It's weird times, you know, it's weird times. But you know, I worry about New York, and I'm worried about a lot of the people there, you know.
I want to say, if you want to save this, it's at 14 minutes, and you could end it and we could start it back if you wanted to.
You know what? We just figured out how to screen record it.
Great.
I'll tell you after.
Great.
Yeah.
I love,
So
hello. I should have called you in the beginning.
I know. I just asked my buddy.
So yeah, you're talking about being worried about people. Yeah, I think we just worry. I mean, that's human nature. You know, you're going to worry and care about people you love, but at the same time, we all have a destiny. And it's up to us to really be where our destiny kind of puts us. And I had the choice, so I think, to have gone anywhere during that time. Anywhere. I mean, I have friends with big places in the South, in California. Could be in with my daughter in DC. We would have she'd probably been killing me by now, because she's in exams for law school, and mommy's still like right there saying, "What can I do? What can I do?" So something said, ground yourself. Be still and know I'm God. I mean, just ground yourself. I have a beautiful one-bedroom apartment. It's not huge. I mean, my kitchen's in my office, is in my living room. You know, it's all together. But it just felt like the space where I could start containing my energy, because so often I know we're just so spread out with things we feel like we have to do, places we feel like we need to go, pressure we put on ourselves for no reason, and pressure we've let others that don't really understand who we are, you know, put on us. Yeah. So this gave me permission just to be still. And I've been really grateful for this time to, you know, to really go deeper into what's the most important gift. That we all have important gifts to share. So where's my true voice? How can I share that in a better way? And my daughter's said to me, we were about to hop into a phone call, and then my daughter called. I mean, it's so rare when they're in law school for the phone to ring. I'm like, oh, sorry. I'm like, don't answer, Jimmy. Don't answer Raul and Jimmy. It's Tiffany calling. And she was so dear. She said, "Mommy, I've watched how this time has helped you really step up to do the things that I always knew you loved the most and were the best at." Oh, wow. And I just I started to cry again. This day has been filled with so much, you know, opportunities to look deep. And I've been on my hands and knees today, and I've cried and I've prayed and I've thanked God, and I've said, use me where you can use me. And you know, and here we are now. And I just really, you know, I appreciate to be able to sit down with someone that can feel in the same way that I feel. You know, that has great hair like me.
I know I know your daughter is just she's in her last semester of
Gosh.
law school. So that's pretty wild, you know, to have to wrap it up like this. You know,
Woo!
she's handling it okay.
I hope the lighting's okay. I don't know what I'm doing here, but
No, it looks good.
it's okay.
Yeah.
She is, she's good. She's in her final week. Final week, and you know, it's a little frustrating because she's worked so hard, and I think she had straight A's and cum laude this semester, and now they've decided just to give pass or fail grades, which is really upsetting because she's put so much time into being, you know, not just pass or fail, but really being extraordinary in her work, and she loves what she's learning, and you know, everyone wants to be recognized for the work they do. So I hope they're going to find a way to really you know, acknowledge the kids that have, you know, put their time into the grades even during this crisis and the pressures, and I hope she can be rewarded. But as I tell her, you're getting the wisdom, you have it, you know how you did, you know, and it's going to show in everything else that you do. It's going to show, you know.
Absolutely. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at some notes I took over here, and I just kind of want to just keep chatting, but I read somewhere, maybe this was in the New York Times, where it said, you know, something like, you know, when you pick up a piece of literature, whether it's a Bible, inspirational book, or anything, you say, okay, show me what I
Shiloh,
need to
by
learn.
the way. Shiloh just said hi.
Oh yeah, what's up, Shiloh?
Oh my
There
God,
you go.
I loved working with you, Shiloh. You were phenomenal. What an incredible talent and spirit and heart. It was, yeah, that was definitely a highlight. Shiloh Fernandez.
Shiloh, you play Shiloh Fernandez's
Auntie.
aunt.
I'm gonna open my
Auntie, yeah.
curtain. Hold on. I'm gonna open my shade.
Okay.
See if that. Woo! Is that too much? There we go. Yeah.
It's good.
Woo, woo. Sun's going down. I did. You cast me as his Aunt Emma.
Yep.
Great.
With Penn Badgley. Penn Badgley was
yeah.
in the scene. A couple
Lots of
up and coming
girls.
actors, Jordan Lane Price, Isabella. There's a great little crew there. You guys turned up. It was pretty great on the street. Music blaring from the bar, from the limo. It's wild. I don't want to give away too much, but you guys had great chemistry, and again, it was that energy thing. You guys truly clicked. But what I was saying before is you said something I read that you said you'll open up a piece of literature, whether it's a Bible, inspirational book, anything, a book, whatever it might be, and you actually say, okay, show me what I need to learn from this, or being any creatives watching and people who are going to watch this in the future, and like, this is my first movie that I directed, and I've been a part of a lot of projects, whether it's producing music or writing or all this different stuff. And I think it's important for people to at least acknowledge that you have to be open to receiving the information when if you're gonna like read something. You can't just, just reading something or listening to a song and just having it on and being like, I don't feel anything. It's like at this point in my life, I used to be a little more like that, but I feel like you need to go a little further. You need to be open to and saying stuff like that, like, show me what I need to learn, inspire me, and being open and looking for, reading in between the lines. And I think that you approach things like that, projects or whatever it is you do. And I think that's really important for creatives, especially younger creatives, to acknowledge, because and I just feel like I'm like I'm an old man saying it, but like, people are saying, like, they just listen to stuff. They go, oh, whatever, I like it or I don't. Trash, not trash, this, that, there's so much more to that. There's so much more than that. You have to, it requires work,
It does. It doesn't just, listen, I'm happy to be where I sit right now, but it isn't without a lot of emotional pain and throughout life and searching and digging deep to learn how to listen and find your own truth. That takes a lot of practice. You got to know how to shut out the noise, really.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of noise calling at us, but with music, my gosh, where that music erupts from in people, that is so soulful. That's that place, that creative place inside that's where truth really lies. And
Speaking of emotional pain, Marla, like, is there something that a situation in your life that you've been in creatively? I know you've been in, a dozen movies, probably more, and I think did you record a record with Deepak Chopra? Did I see that correctly?
So I've done some music projects. Yeah. I did an album called The Endless with a wonderful music producer who's in the islands, and Torsten Stensel. And I was living in California. Tiffany was getting to an age where she didn't need me as much. And I just kept saying, God, give me something. What do I need to do? And I kept waking up with these lyrics. And I would write the lyrics, and I was going, wow. And then I had a friend who said, this sounds like a song, and send it to Torsten. And I sent it to Torsten. He goes, I love this. He goes, I've got a track for this. So it kind of happened that, what was coming through me, he heard and put it to music. And we did this song called The Pearl. And it was really about the soul, the female soul's journey through time. And my dad is quite prophetic, and he always calls my daughter the Pearl. And so I wrote this song about the pearl, about how through time, we just become more and more beautiful, more shine. I mean, first we're rough, but then as you polish and polish through time and storms in the sea, you become this great, beautiful thing. And so that was the first song. And Torsten said, you've got to do more. So we started adding, and I was visiting Deepak, doing music again. My dad was a songwriter. I've written a few things, but I'm working on an album. And he goes, let's do something together. So I said, perfect. Why don't you, let's, he was into Rumi. He had done some translations of Rumi. And we said, let's have him do a new translation of Rumi into English, and we'll wrap a song around it. It was called The House of Love. And we won the Hollywood Music and Media Award for it, which was great. Oh,
amazing.
And from there, we just decided to go out to different spiritual and thought leaders, from Native American to Sikh to Guru Tej, and my friend Tara, who's Blackfoot Indian, and then a teacher from Israel. We just pulled people from all different backgrounds to come on, and we did this really cool music vibe called The Endless. So that music just, that ended up just being something that made me so happy. I mean, I love writing, and I love being in the studio, and I'd do it again if I'm inspired again. I would definitely do it again.
Well, maybe we'll make something.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Why not? So far, so good.
You said you mentioned your father there.
Yeah.
So from what I understand, he was in real estate. And was he a Elvis impersonator at some point in his life?
I'm just going to ask you guys, do I need to move towards the light? Am I too dark? Because I can maybe carefully pick this up and move it. But can you see me okay? Because in here I'm shadowed. Perfect.
You look great. No,
I love it. I'm better in the dark.
No, you look great. You look great.
My dad, no, where those things come from. My dad was a singer, songwriter. I mean, he was performing in Theater Under the Stars when he was young, in his early 20s. He had a rock and roll band. He wasn't an Elvis impersonator, because some of the presses said that. No, he actually had a rock and roll band where he was that cool as Elvis was in the 60s. So I mean, he was like, since I love my baby, I found a new place to dwell. And they were great. He was doing opera, and then, thank you, my hair. I know my hair is like big. Someone said, Kiki, we played tennis today. Hi, sorry. I see my friends saying hi, and I get carried away.
All good.
So my dad was this great inspiration to me. I remember when I was a little girl going backstage in Atlanta at Theater Under the Stars and watching him playing King Lear, I think it was. It was, I'm pretty sure something of Shakespeare at the time. But then he made a choice. He says, I want to be there to be your dad. I don't want to be on the road. So he came back and he started working in real estate, and he was a county road commissioner. And so he was a pretty amazing man, and still is. I mean, he's still someone I go to when I need spiritual or, great guidance. I can count on my dad. My mom was a heartbreak. My mom was a total, my mom left the planet, like, 2014. So it's taken me a while. She still is in my life without the pain that was attached to her breast cancer that turned into glioblastoma, turned into brain cancer. And it was a very, very, I took care of her. And I see my friend Nicole there, who helped me a lot, took care of her for a couple of years, doing anything and everything we could to get her well. She wanted to get well. She was a fighter. And we just loved her, didn't we, Nicole? We loved her so much. And she wanted to stick around. But, God had a different plan for her. So after that, it was literally dealing with the emotions of what it takes when you watch someone you love suffer tremendously, like suffering beyond what you could imagine. And so I just had to really ask to be able to forget the pain and really just think of the good. And that's where it's at now. And so she's a great guide for me. And that's just one of the things. We've all gone through so much in our life. We wouldn't be alive if we weren't supposed to have these experiences.
Part of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was she a model as well?
Oh my gosh, she was just beautiful. I'm telling you, my ex-husband used to, he can say things sometimes. He goes, if it weren't for you, I would marry your mom. Because she was so beautiful. She wasn't, well, no, I take that back. She started modeling when she was in her 50s. How about that? She was that beautiful. She started modeling in her 50s.
Wow.
In Atlanta. And she did a lot of cool stuff. And she was picked, people didn't even know she was my mom. And she was picked, Ladies Home Journal, I look great for my age. And she won the most, look great for my age at 50. And more than anything, she loves her family. She just loves her family. She put that first, and she was a great cook, but she always was perfect. I mean, there wasn't a hair out of place. She had such style, and she was a true beauty. Yeah.
Were you growing up? Were your parents? I'm curious. Were they supportive for you to be? I know you played sports, and you still play sports. You're an athlete. Were they supportive of pursuing arts and a more what most parents will say, go be a doctor or be a lawyer, whatever they'll tell you, whatever the
Remember, I grew up in the South. Not many people
South,
at that time. It was the 60s, 70s. I was born in the 60s, 70s, 80s. I went to University of Georgia in the 80s. So not a lot of people from my neck of the woods, 500 people, really left. So it was really about family and God. It was church and it was family, community, but I think everyone kind of believed I had something more to do, and I felt like I had a push. They were kind of like, go. They understood that. They were both like captains of the basketball team. My dad had a scholarship in, I think, basketball or football and music. And my mom was definitely, she was gorgeous, but she was fast on the court. It was back when it was, they played 5-on-5 and they were hustlers. She was phenomenal. Still 5-on-5, but before you, what do you call it? I'm forgetting the term now, but when you had to stay defense, offense, I don't know. You can't, I can barely remember it. Because thank gosh, we were able to go full court then. But yeah, I had parents that really believed and told me I could do anything. So, that's what I hope we can do, is inspiring our kids. I'd love to have more. Oh, well, probably won't have another one, but grandkids maybe, but I'd love to have more. Anything, you never know what's possible, but
you never know.
No matter what, lift them to find their truth, not try to impose our dreams on them, and I catch myself with my daughter saying, honey, seriously, is law school that important? When I see her go through, it's tough. And I'm like, I want you to be happy. Please. I just want you to be happy. Is this what? And she's like, Mom, I have to do this. This is my calling. I have to. And I'm like, it's your call. It is. But I can still love you and pray for you and be a little worried about staying up working 3 nights in a row because of this paper, this research. And so even for me, I have to say, our children have to be able to follow, and for us to listen to them. is even better because they have so much wisdom.
Yeah, they do. They do. Especially as the times are changing, you know, as we know, the youth always connects in a different way and kind of sheds light on the the stuff we didn't see, the contrast, you know, they look at things a little differently. Why do you do that, you know? And then you're like, because that's the way it's done. They go, I'm not going to do it like that. And then it's just, you know, all these, especially with music, you see it, you know?
Definitely.
Like I saw it with music in like maybe about 7, 8 years ago when, you know, a lot of hip hop started, this new wave of like SoundCloud music and stuff started kind of coming along, and started listening to just, because now you can make, well, then you were able to make music on your laptop and you didn't need a laptop, which you probably had for school. Maybe, you know, it's you're lucky to have one, but as it become more affordable, and then there's music programs and you listen to the new way that the Gen Z or whatever it is now would listen to music and interpret it and translate it. It's amazing. And then I'm just like, I never even thought of using that like that, you know, or this like that, doing, you know, changing these genres up and seeing that and allowing them to, you know, in all art, and with your daughter and like with your parents probably did for you and mine for me, like just allowing you that, you said, that space and that freedom to evolve, you know, make your own mistakes and, you know, have your own desires and follow through.
Yeah. I mean, because if you really believe, as I do, that we're all here for a unique purpose. I mean, each and every one of us have our own special qualities. So don't ever let anybody talk you out of that. Right?
Yeah.
And it's so good, you know, for me, I feel much younger than my age may say, which is great because it lets me, you know, I feel like I can connect to the youth. I want to hear what they're saying. I want to listen to my elders, and I definitely want to hang out with my peers, but you know, but I really, really want to connect with the kids and really listen and hear. And I've got so many great friends in their 20s and 30s who just inspire me every day. And they help me believe in myself when I start to become insecure.
Yeah. That's well put. Well put. So Marla, with you've been in a lot of films, you know, you're comfortable on movie sets. I remember seeing you on the Fresh Prince TV show. I remember that.
I love that picture. Guys, I put it on my story. It is so funny. Was that a screen grab? Or
Raul did. I think it was a screen grab, yeah.
I like you guys working for me.
Do you remember being on set that day?
Of course I do. I was there with somebody else pretty famous.
What was the vibe? What was the vibe?
Oh.
I mean, that was a show that I had never missed, you know, growing up.
It was so good. I mean, first of all, Will Smith is one of my favorite human beings on the planet. And I've not seen him in years, but whenever, ever, I saw him, he was still like that nice kid that just come plop down, what's going on? You know, I've seen him on other movie sets, and we used to both live near Calabasas, and we're running into each other at the ice cream shop, and, you know, with his kids and Jada, and his ability just to put everything else aside and be real was so cool. What a talented guy. So yeah, we all had a blast. I mean, it was really, really, really fun. Hi, Slovenia.
I know. I played a bunch of shows with Jaden and Willow, and got to spend a lot of time with them with music stuff, and I've met their father in passing, and it's the same thing that you're saying. He was just he jumped right on stage. We were playing this festival. I think it was maybe Made in America in Philly or Afropunk in Brooklyn. I don't remember which one, but I remember Will ran out on the stage and grabbed the mic, and he did his thing while Willow was performing. She's amazing. She's so talented. And oh my God, that guy is so talented. The whole crowd around.
Unbelievable. I'd love to see Willow perform. I've just been away from LA now, and I've missed out on a lot of that. But yeah, great stuff. So that was so fun to see that moment again. Yeah, see that moment, and that's why I was like, shout out to Will Smith.
Yeah.
And Jada's doing great things with her show, and yeah. Yeah.
Do you is there? I know you're involved in a lot of you support a lot of charities and nonprofit organizations, and a lot of that stuff is important, you know, to you and to me as well. And you know, you focus on inspiring women, wellness, spirituality, motivation, all that stuff. Is there something that you're working on now that you want to share and kind of turn people on to?
I can't tell you. You know, I am just, I just want to inspire people to do their research, to study, to really take the best care of themselves they can in a world where it really is quite dependent. We're seeing how important our immune system is, how important it is to really learn how to care for ourselves in a better way. I started working with a bit with a company called Nutrition for Longevity, and they're creating food that is coming from all the blue zones around the world, and they have farms where they really are regulating it with just no toxicity at all, organic. They're shipping it to the house. They're doing a lot of give back action. You know, so the wellness aspect, you know, there's so many companies that are just stepping forward and saying, we want to help, we want to serve, we want to give now. But for me, it's like, number one, you know, tune into people that are going to help you learn more about wellness, learn more about your vitamins, learn more about your supplementation, and keep your mind right. I'm working with my friend Dr. Anna Yassim, who's a psychiatrist, on mental wellness, and we just want to be able to, you know, help them just open up to ask questions in any way that we can help people that that are having a hard time during the shift, that are living in fear for obvious reasons. You know, life is very, very uncertain right now. There are charities, different charities I work with and support, but you know, and I'll have a website, so I'm going to be adding a lot more of that. But I think right now I'm just listening and learning and researching ways to help people heal through all of this. I'm bringing together, I have a team of folks who are bringing together some of the best functional doctors around the world that have data and research to show how they are helping cure many viruses and diseases besides just COVID. And my goal is that we can have more conversations between the worlds of the medical worlds and the functional medicine doctors, who are medical doctors who just took their knowledge and their learning to the next level. There's a way we can balance this, and I'm really fighting that we have the freedom in our health. Stand for health freedom. Stand for healthfreedom.com. There, it's a place that you can share your beliefs, your stories, and they will help put you in alignment with legislators that are working to.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So you know, it's a place where everybody has a voice, because in today's world, not really everybody has a voice, right? So we're looking for other places to really give our voice and share our truth, and a lot is being held back. And so
what is your website?
My site is marlamaples.com.
Okay, so everyone knows it's marlamaples.com.
Yeah, and we're just getting ready to relaunch it. We're just tweaking it a bit now, so it's sort of in its older form now. Hopefully we're going to get it tweaked. I have a 22-year-old that's working with me now, great gal, who's like, I want to make this really cool. I'm like, you do it, girl. Her dad's a filmmaker, so I'm like, talk to your daddy and let's do this thing. But Stand for Health Freedom is a group that I really like, and just, it's just about awareness, and just tell your stories. Tell, you know, how have you had some reactions to vaccinations? Have your children have had reactions? How do you feel about that? Do you want to have more tests run before, you know, to make sure these things are safe before we have, without going too far, but you know, we need to make sure that we are never in a place where we're forced to do something that's not of our highest good, and we have to bring our voices together for that. And so that, and also helping people learn more about what's happening with the wireless in our world. You know, I just literally shut down all of my wireless internet in my home, and I'm using an Ethernet on my computer now, old school. So fast.
Tell me about that. I keep hearing about. I've been in the studio. I've been post production. I don't know what is going on with all.
There's a lot going on that's sort of hidden, and that's why I say be aware, ask questions, do your research. research, talk to your providers, and notice if there's any little meters going up on phone poles that shouldn't be going there, that's giving people too much access, that's putting too much. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. This is sweet. Go charge your battery. So there's a lot of data that shows that it's not about 5G. It's really about the radiation that's coming from these new towers, and how it's coming in, and it's lowering our immune system and making us more susceptible to other issues, whether it's mental wellness, viruses, other situations. I just know when I've held this phone in my hand for too many hours, when I've been on my computer, when I've had my TV on, do you start kind of vibrating?
I will not be on the phone unless I have my headphones on. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm on speaker now. I like
even
put it on speaker all the time because you can see the test, you can see the research. So much more brain cancer since we've had cell phones, and I call to all the phone companies to stand up, care enough about humanity to make these things safer for us. Period. You can do it. They've got the money, they've got the ability. They can make it safer for us if they choose, and then we'll have people coming together, not wanting to push apart. But yeah, just be really aware. There's a company I just found about, Safe Sleeve. I'll try to post about them. They make, it's not right here on me, but they make these covers that helps protect from the radiation. So you can actually close the cover over the phone. I think I have it up on my site. They're a great team. They computer covers. Before I disconnected my wireless on my router, I was putting this computer case over the router, and I tested it with, I have this little radiation tester, and it shut down like 60% of the radiation by putting this cover over my router.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So I would say do that, and at night, literally at night, shut down your router. I mean, just turn the power switch off so you'll get a better night's sleep. If you're suffering with sleep issues, just check it out. I mean, I just say try it for a few days, see if your sleep improves. And, I'm big about don't put a TV in your bedroom, don't work on your computer in your bedroom, keep that your sacred sleep space. And
yeah,
that,
with, my girlfriend falls asleep a lot with her cell phone next to her head.
No.
And it makes me, and I told her so many times now, it's an extra thing at night that I try to look for to move that out of the way,
Airplane mode. Airplane mode.
Yeah.
Airplane mode, because it will do not have your Bluetooth on, do not have your extra wireless on, and push airplane mode. Your alarm will still work, right? Yeah. And I'm big about landlines. I'm sorry, I have a very hot phone over there. That's just my daughter, my best friend has the number, but they know when mommy has to shut down, and there's times where you can't hear it all the time. That's the number you call me on, and I'll always be reachable. As long as I'm still a bird in a nest up here. So yeah, I preached a little bit today, but these are issues that are really important to me. One, like take your vitamin C, liposomes, get your vitamin D3. If you can't get the sunlight, take it, orally. Vitamin A, vitamin E, zinc. Those are all important. That's not a wine bottle. This is Mountain Valley water. I'm sorry. It turned over, and I spilled half a bottle while I was here on my carpet, but it's the water it's good water. They don't pay me to say that, but I do like it.
Oh, so, God. Marla, is there let me just ask you a few questions that I just want to know. What's your favorite movie?
The one I haven't seen yet.
Besides that one.
Oh my God, you're going to make me go back in time.
Go back.
I don't know what Dreams May Come just came to my mind. I mean, things that inspire you to look deeper, right?
Oh, wow. That's a great movie.
That just came to me because yesterday when I went into the park after living here, we've had so much darkness, so much rain. And yesterday I went to the park and I was like, oh, I feel like I'm walking into a painting now. I feel like I'm walking into this colorful world. This is beautiful. So yeah, so that was one of my favorites. Yeah, music. I like all. Are you gonna ask me about music?
Sure. Give me what's that? If I was to look at if I was to grab your phone right now and look at the last song you listened to, what would that be?
It would be my preacher preaching. recording it, listening to it as I was putting on some, eyes and lips. What would I be listening? I just, my daughter's Spotify list. She's got all the coolest music.
She makes you playlists?
Yeah, I love her playlist. And honestly, I can't, there's so many unique, as you know, the artists are so unique and so, God, they all bring so much more. And there are so many just, you don't even know their names, but they just bring something that's so special to music because of how music is now. Nicole, what's my favorite song and movie? She's like, Nicole is my assistant that I want back in my life. I left her in California. She's doing great. So I was like, she reads my mind. So she.
Nicole, who's her favorite band? What was the last concert you've been to?
Donny Osmond. No, I'm teasing. Oh my God. I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, really? The most recent one?
Yes.
Cool.
I'm trying to think if they had it this year. Year before last, where Stevie Nicks and she was, the first woman named into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And Def Leppard was there.
Oh, Def Leppard, cool. That's cool. I love Def Leppard.
I mean, there were so many great artists. I was just, it was all like my 80s kind of music coming back. It was great. Janet Jackson was there. She was honored.
Oh, wow, Janet.
And Brian Ferry, who's a really close friend of a close friend of mine. And so it was just, we just, that was phenomenal because we got to hear all of them. It was like taking this journey through time, and Harry Styles and Stevie Nicks performed together, which was really cool. So it was like bringing the ages together through time, moving together. It was pretty great. How about you? What have you seen lately?
Oh man,
lately online.
I mean,
Taylor Dane. Yes, thank you, Nicole. Taylor Dane is one of our favorites from the 90s.
I've been listening to a lot of I just kind of like looking for new stuff. Like this guy Baby Keem is really cool. It's like, a lot of hip hop stuff. Just trying to find, unless I'm going backwards. I love going backwards. I like going backwards as far back as I can go. I just watched this Elvis documentary. Yeah. The one that was from a few years ago. And just listening to just blues and soul from before Elvis, obviously, and just picking out what he went, gospel, from the South, especially from, you're from where you come from is where that's like the middle of it, and like going backwards to that and then finding new sort of stuff that inspires me, new generation stuff, a lot of it, I wish there was more rock bands that kind of took me there, but I feel like the punk attitude now is not really in that genre, so I like to kind of look in different places.
I love Nashville. I mean, I spend a lot of time in Nashville and Muscle Shoals. And that's that Americana cool. Muscle Shoals has got that cool Americana sound. And I go every year to the Shindig, and they get, like, Casey Musgrove was there a couple years ago. They get all these cool up-and-coming artists that end up winning Grammys. And in Nashville, I've got friends that are, writing songs that I've been hanging out writing some music with. And you just see the kids that are out there. They just have their music deals, and they're just out there every night. They were. Now they're doing it, virtually for everybody. Yeah, that Muscle Shoals documentary came up there. She's trying to make me sound cool. So feed me some more, honey.
A great Nashville artist who's a dear friend of mine, who I think is one of the best songwriters, I believe, of our generation, is a guy named James Levy. That's James Levy. This guy's amazing. He's out in Nashville. He was in New York for a long time. Let's see what she says. The Dr. Musical Line and Dr. Elvis.
Dr. Elvis? What, do you know what that is?
I don't know. I think she's got more knowledge than both
I know.
of us.
See, there you go. It's like, come on, pour it in me, baby.
Well, you guys should check out.
Oh, he released his album for COVID. Okay, cool. So we'll check it out. We'll definitely check it out. Thanks, baby. Thank you.
But I'll send you a link to this guy, James Levy's stuff. He's in Nashville, and he does a lot of cool stuff. He made this record with this girl this amazing band, the Pierces, this girl, Allison Pierce. They did the record called James Leaving the Blood Red Rose. And it's just beautiful, beautiful music. Yeah, I'll send you a link to it.
I love it.
Like
I love it. I need to listen to more. I mean, I'm not watching the news as often anymore. We need to have more music. So, gosh, I love that, you know, when our family tunes in to support us, right? And how about Ian McGregor's beautiful daughter?
Clara.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great. She's amazing on the film. She was a co-producer. She helped with a lot of stuff. She's really talented. She just played a lead in a film called Rifa that was supposed to. We went out to Miami to go for the festival, but the day that the movie was supposed to be premiering was the day that everything got shut down. So it was like in early March. So they couldn't have the premiere from that. You know, I'm sure the movie's gonna come out soon. She's super talented. She's doing a lot of cool stuff.
So cool.
Great actress.
I loved hearing from her. I loved that she was a part of this. Then she said hi to me from her mom and dad. I'm like, really?
Yeah. And I know I spoke with her. She told me that you Ev, her mother, you guys are you guys know each other, right?
You know, I remember. Okay, so I'm very better in the present, but we definitely have met each other, and I definitely saw her dad when he was performing here in a play, and so yeah, we're gonna get to the heart of it because I'd love to say hi. Yes, Clara is very, very hot. You know, it's the singing doctor that we're thinking of. Oh my God, that beautiful man. Oh my gosh, he's a singing doctor, and I'm following him on Instagram. That's
I haven't seen him.
Oh, you have to. Yeah, Tiffany, Lisa, find us that link because he will break your heart. I mean, he would go from the ER to the piano with other doctors, and he would be just like he'd be singing these angelic songs just to inspire everybody from leaving the ER. Elvis releases Singing Surgeon. Dr. Elvis releases Epic to help COVID-19 relief. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you have to listen to him. He's it's so good. It made me cry.
Amazing.
Yeah, you have to hold it from the live, but yeah, as you said it. Thank you very much. And
wow, cool. I'm gonna see that. You know, I love that about being in 2020. That you know when we're talking about music and what's our favorite band. We're talking about Elvis. We're talking about this, that, and piano in the next room, and this is what everyone's talking about. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
That's it. I mean, because to walk out of that space, because my little sister, who's Tiffany's best friend and Tiffany's aunt, they're the same age, is an emergency room nurse, and you know, and I know what they're going through. I mean, it's heart-wrenching when you see, you know, people suffering whatever it takes, but their hearts are made to share. But you imagine walking out of that space and then stepping into this world where you continue to inspire. That's God at work, you know. That's just that we're so grateful. I mean, so grateful. We have to send him a message. So
that's very special. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, and you know, here at 7:00, we're in about 5 minutes. You're going to still hear, if I open this window, people applauding and yelling and cracking their. Are you doing it in Chicago too? Playing their skillets out the window?
You know what? I'm basically in a soundproof studio for like 12 hours a day with no windows, just locked in. Just
perfect timing for you.
To go outside, yeah.
Yeah.
Do that. I did hear it yesterday. I went for a drive because I wanted to go out because it was so nice out, and I walk my dog, you know, I walk him around.
Precious.
You know, I mask up and I go out, but I went for a drive, and then it was around 8:00, and I just heard all this noise on this side street here in Chicago. And then, I realized that everyone was just doing the
so good,
showing respect and to everyone who's out there risking their lives.
Well, I'm going to suggest, even though you invited me, that we probably cut it or we might lose it because we're getting close to an hour now. And,
I see that, yeah.
And so Adam Sandler performed a quantum song dedicated to nurses and doctors. Oh, got it. That was a different thing. Yeah, got it. Yeah.
I'm gonna go back in this, and I'm gonna.
Cool.
What's up?
Hi, Stuart from London. That's my PR publicist friend in London. It's so good to connect with you. Honestly, I mean, I've got to talk to you more today than we did on the set because you were busy.
I know. So Marla, thank you so much for coming and collaborating with us and inspiring us and continuing to inspire us on all levels. You know, just watching you through Instagram, reading a thing here and there, talking with other people. It's just every time your name comes up, I say this from the bottom of my heart, it's always great, and it always makes me feel good to know that there's people that collaborate with us that really can click with us and understand and be open and fearless. And I'm so excited for the next film that we're working on, which we gave you some heavy stuff to sink your teeth into, and I think you're gonna shine brighter than you've ever shined
I love it.
when we film that movie.
Thank you.